Do you want a simple mob farm that is actually not very difficult to build, but is also going to take away the problem of spiders clogging up your system? Look no further. This is a spider-free mob farm that will do everything you need it to, and you can also change from XP mode to mob drop collection mode. Don't you go anywhere. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, and welcome to another episode from me, Avomance, in my farm tutorial series. Well, today we're doing something that has basically been requested. If you saw it, I don't know if you did, but a couple of 3 weeks ago, or at least when I'm making this video, I made a mob farm in survival. It was quite a reasonable mob farm. It worked really, really well, and it excluded spiders. Spiders didn't gam it up. Spiders didn't get in the way. We basically removed the possibility of spiders spawning in this farm completely. So people have said, Avo, that wasn't very easy to follow. Well, no, it wasn't. It was a let's play. It wasn't a tutorial, but they want a tutorial. So today we're going to do a tutorial on how to make the mob farm that I did in I think it was episode 49 of Avomance. If you've not seen it, do feel free to go and have a look. I'll try and remember to put the link in the description below. Anyway, should we crack on? I think we should. So to make this, you need a fair few blocks, but it's not as bad as it seems. You need about 22 stacks of glass, not 22 glass, 22 stacks of glass, about 21 stacks of your structural block. Now, I've used stone bricks. You don't have to use stone bricks. You could use dirt or whatever if you wanted to, but as long as it is a non-transparent block. You need 4 signs, about a stack of torches, about 42 redstone repeaters, 3 redstone comparators, 24 dispensers, have to be dispensers, not droppers, 10 hoppers, 6 chests, about 12 cobblestone, doesn't have to be cobblestone, but a different structural block to your 21 stack, about a stack of redstone dust, 5 trapdoors, I really like dark oak trapdoors, 7 sticky pistons, 1 block of soul sand, 1 magma block, 1 redstone block, 3 stairs. These could be cobble stairs or wooden stairs. I've just used stone brick stairs because I can. 40 sand. This could also be 40 gravel, but you do get all of this back. So it's not part of the build. It's just for moving around the build. You are going to need 24 buckets of water if you're using infinite water source blocks cleverly around the build. 24 is the minimum. And up to about 32 blocks. I've used granite because I hate granite to be able to do your hopper clock. So now you will notice that I'm in a super flat world that is just literally made up of sandstone blocks, and it goes sandstone blocks all the way down to bedrock. Now that is not representative of what your world's going to be, but what it is representative of is a deep ocean. Pretty much, it's pretty good. So what you're going to do is you're going to be rowing out to a deep ocean with a lily pad in your hand, and when you get there to the deepest part that you can find, you're going to shove a lily pad on top of some of the water. Then on top of that lily pad, you're going to shove a block. So imagine you're bobbing up and down in the water. Get rid of your lily pad and then shove a block underneath that block that you put in there. And then what you've got is a platform that is basically on top of the water, 1 block above the water. That is what you want to do to create the first platform that we're going to make this on. So I'm just going to fill in this to get rid of it because this is not what we're going to do. So imagine we're in the deep ocean. Couldn't be more further away from the deep ocean because it's loads of sandstone, but we're in the deep ocean. I then don't have to go through all lighting up the caves underneath the deep ocean or anything like that for the purpose of this tutorial. So you've made your platform on the deep ocean and you are going to get yourself a little system of glass that looks a little bit like that. Do it too high, like that, and then here you're going to get a sign, and there, and you're going to write up on that one. Here you're going to put a sign, and this one you're going to put down, not daub, down on that one. Okay, so that is the up and that is the down. Then you're going to create another level but join it up so you've got a rectangle all the way around like that. Then what you're going to do is making sure you've got all your construction blocks in your pocket at the moment, so the blocks you're going to make a platform up in the air of, and come into this section. You're going to put a bucket of water there, and you're going to put a bucket of water there. So you've got 2 buckets of water. That creates an infinite water source in the middle here. And you can collect with one of your 2 empty buckets. You can collect the infinite water source. You can put one there. Collect another one from the infinite water source and put one there. That is now a 2 high infinite water source. Do it again. Collect from the middle. Put one there. Collect from the middle. Put one there. That is a 3 high infinite water source. And you just keep repeating that. So build yourself another platform all the way around. Fill up both of your buckets and put one of your buckets there and one of your buckets there. Do another layer. Come all the way around. Put one of your buckets there and one there. So you get the picture, and you keep going up, and I want you to go up 120 layers. So once you've got yourself on top of the world right here, I want you to build yourself out a platform. So you've already got here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 by 3. You need to make this quite a bit bigger. So bring this out another 1, 2, 3 in that direction. Bring this out another 1, 2 in that direction. Bring this out another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that direction, and bring this out another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in that direction. And then what you want to do is you want to fill in the entire platform so it is completely closed off, and you've got no gaping holes that are going to be waiting to trip you over and fall the 100 odd blocks that you've managed to create. Now bear in mind that part of this is going to be hanging over the platform that you've got down at the bottom. The platform down at the bottom only needs to be 10 by 10, and you've built this in the corner of that 10 by 10. So anything that sticks out over this way, in this direction, is actually going to be over the ocean. And if it's over the ocean, that means you can lob yourself off of it with a plumb. You can actually just throw yourself off of it. Don't worry about going down your water chute. Throw yourself off if you need to get back down to the bottom, which you are going to need to do in a minute. I'm just going to finish off this platform and I'll be back with you. So you've got your platform finished. Come to your water slot, if you want to call it a water slot, and not the side that's got 3 blocks, but the side that's got lots more than 3 blocks, and come to the middle one and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then on 7 put a sticky piston. Then one that side, one that side, one that side, and one that side. So you've got a row of 5 sticky pistons. Round behind the sticky pistons, I want you to put a row of 5 blocks, nothing more complicated than that. And in front of the sticky pistons, another row of 5 blocks. That is going to create the platform upon which you are going to be working, and you're going to be hitting mobs in this row here, because we're going to extend these pistons. So this is the row upon which you're going to be bashing your mob. So on one side of that, put a block, and on the other side of that, put a block. And then what I want you to do is remove that, that, and that. Really, really easy. Get yourself some redstone dust. Run the redstone dust along the entire length of those 5 there. Come in there, there, and there into this brick block here. Stick a lever, and if you then throw that lever, that extends those right across the hole that you've just created. Turn the lever off and it opens up the hole again. Very, very simple. So keep that lever on for now, because we want to be creating ourselves the area upon which we're going to play. Stick a brick block on that side. You obviously can't stick a brick block there, but what I do want you to do is stick a glass block on the piston there, like that. Now what that's going to do, that's going to enable you to be able to, if we throw that back again, that is going to make kind of the open side at the side there. Stick a thing on there and a thing on there. So this is starting to build up the kind of enclosure for us to be able to bash these mobs. What I then want you to do is I want you to get 5 blocks of sand. Put one there, one there, one there, one there, and one there. That will throw the sand down to the bottom, and you'll see your row of sand at the bottom there, and you'll then know exactly where the drop is underneath this hole. Close the hole up for now. You don't want to be messing around with it. Then what the next thing you want to do is get yourself a block of glass there and a block of glass there, and we're going to be building up a tower coming onto this block here that is going to create the drop chute for your mobs. And we want to have a block there, and then we're going to come across this way. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then 1 in that corner just to block it off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up another 10 levels at least. It could be more than 10 if you want, but at least 10 levels. So that's 1, 2, and then carry on up to at least 10. It can be more, could be as many as 15, but at least 10. So once you've come up at least 10 but no more than 15 blocks, I want you to come along with a stone brick block. It doesn't have to be stone brick, it could be any structural block really, as long as it is not a transparent block. And I want you to come twice in the same shape as this hole, and then a third time I want you to come but put one in the corner, so it creates the full rectangle on the third row. Don't do it more than 3, especially if you have done 15 rather than 10 on that glass tower. Again, that glass tower doesn't have to be glass, but I quite like it being glass simply because it means that you can get, you can get nice visualization onto it. And then on this side, on the edge, I want you to shift click and come out another 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. And then put a block next to that there and come along all the way to the end there, and again similarly on this side all the way to the end. And then you need to get yourself another block there like that. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 to this block here. So you can see that's 8. And then create yourself a second level across the entire lot, just like that, and then repeat the process on this side. So we're going to come out another 7. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then again coming out on this side to match it all up. So once you've got your 2 tiny channels that way, I want you to come to the middle of this, shift click and come out another 7 in this direction. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then come out one more and hop a block on top of it, just like that. Do exactly the same on this side. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then one more and hop a block on top of it. And then I need you to repeat that process on the 3 on that side and the 3 on that side. So 7 on all of these and put a block on top, and the same on this side as well. 7 on all of these and put a block on top, so you've got yourself a tray with 2 standy uppy edges at the end. I'll be back when I've done that. So you should have a tray that looks similar to this. Make this 2 high, like that. Make this other one over here 2 high, like that. And then do a 1 high wall all the way around to there on that side. 1 high wall all the way around to there on that side. Similarly on this bit, like that, and on this bit like that. So you've got yourself quite a nice looking little tray with a 5 wide slot in the middle. Then what I want you to do is I want you to get up on this wall and get yourself 2 water buckets that you have been carrying around. Get yourself one of your water buckets, shove it there, come along 2 and shove another water bucket there. That will give this block in the middle, it'll make that an infinite water source, so you can fall in if you wish, but you can then collect your water from that middle one and then come past this one and go along 2, shove your water there. That'll make this one in the middle an infinite water source, and fall in again. I did not mean to fall in. You might want to consider using shift click here and then repeat the process. Come past 2, shove that one in there at the end, and you can then do the same process at the other side by going in the corner, come along 2, collect from that one there, come along 3, collect from that one there, come along there, and just shove a last one in there. You should have infinite water sources basically running across the entire width of that row. Then come up on this side, and in the bottom here shove 1 bucket of water, come along this side, and in the same way put another bucket of water there. So what you've now got is you've got, no matter where you have anything fall into this water, it will be pushed into this hole. Dead simple, right? So no matter where, if it's in the middle, it just gets pushed straight into the hole. If it comes along this edge, it also gets pushed into the hole by virtue of this water coming in here and pushing it in that way. So that is really very, very simple. Then what we're going to do is we're going to carry on building up this wall so as it's too high all the way around, and then continue to build. Come all the way around this side, too high there, and then finally too high there. I'm trying to do this in as survivally a way as possible so you can see that it is indeed possible. Then get yourself some torches, and you want to be putting torches at the end here, and then halfway down there and opposite it there. Do exactly the same on the other long arm that you've got here. Put 1 there and come in and put 2 there. So what that's going to do is that's going to stop any mobs from spawning on these long arms, because we're not going to do any more building on these long arms now. And what we are going to do is we're going to get again our stone brick, and we're going to build up another 4 levels. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. I'll be back when I've done that. So you will have a shape that looks similar to this. I want you to put a block in each corner. Don't fall off now, because if you fall off into that water, it's going to be incredibly uncomfortable. You will fall down to the bottom of that chute, and if you don't die through fall damage, you're certainly going to hurt yourself. You're going to have to break some blocks to get out, and then getting back up here is also going to be tricky. So what you want to do is along these long sides from this corner, you know, want to shift click and come out. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8, and then along from the other corner exactly the same. So come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. And then what you're going to do is you're going to turn the corner around here, and you are going to fill in this gap all the way along to the other side. So this should meet when you get to the other end, and you've made kind of a rectangle off of the back of your mob farm. And we're nearly there, we're nearly there, we're nearly there, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. There you go. So that is a decent platform there. And then what I want you to do is fill it in and repeat the process on this side. So you'll have 2 platforms of the same size on each side. I'll be back when I'm done. So you've got your tray that looks a little bit like this. We've put a 1 high wall along each side. Nothing more complicated than that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to count across from the back. We're going to go 1, 2, then put a block. 1, 2, block, 1, 2, block, 1, 2, block, 1, 2, block, and it should leave you with 2. Do exactly the same from the other end. We're going to come in, we're going to go 1, 2, block, 1, 2, block, 1, 2, block. It's like I'm dancing again, isn't it? 1, 2, block, 1, 2, block, and that's like that. And then we need to extend, and you could do this before if you wish, extend that out all the way along behind, and then one more. Like that, dead simple. And then on this bit we're going to get ourselves a dispenser. It has to be a dispenser, not a dropper, and we're going to put in between the gaps here, we're going to put a dispenser in each one like this. Oop, there, facing the right way, and you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 dispensers, and then repeat the process on the other side. So it should look a little bit like that. Then come behind your dispensers and into each one, making sure again that you don't fall off. I want you to put a repeater into the back of each one. Now, what I have found is that if you don't use a repeater, these dispensers can get just a little bit fritzy in that they don't always dispense at the same time. You end up some dispensers going, some dispensers not going, and it ends up being really fritzy if you just put a block behind it and then that block has redstone dust running over it. So I find this is better. If you want to put a block behind these dispensers and redstone dust over the tops of the blocks, that is absolutely fine. I'm delighted for you. You feel free to crack on with that. That is not a problem. And then behind these redstone repeaters, get yourself all the way along some redstone dust. In the middle one, leave a gap and go redstone dust all the way to the end. And then in that one with the gap, shove yourself another repeater. All that's going to do, that's just going to make sure that you've got enough signal strength to get to the end, because here you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you carry on, you might not make it because the signal isn't going to be originating from there. Then come along to the other side. Do exactly the same here. In the middle one, from the same direction that the other ones come in, go in that way, and then go across the rest of the back. That connects up all that redstone perfectly. And then what I need you to do is shove a block on that side. You don't need one on the other side. And then come along this way. And in the direction that will basically will go towards the repeater, shove 2 blocks. So you've got some area that you can put redstone, then put a redstone dust there. And in the opposite corner, I know I'm going backwards and forwards. You can do this far more efficiently. I know you are all geniuses of the redstone. So I'm just going to shove a redstone dot right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come up and we're going to run all the way along the top of this. We're going to shove one more wall along the back. Like that. Come up the other side all the way along to the edge. And similarly across the back like this. Now remember, when you're pushing over these dispensers, you need to shift click if you're clicking on the dispensers. And then what I want you to do, you've now got an easy way to get up and down into this chamber. Now what I want you to do is I want you to put a bucket of water in each and every one of these dispensers. So all of these dispensers are now filled up, but you are probably, unless you're using shulker boxes, going to have run out of inventory by now, because that is a lot. That is 24 slots of water buckets that you've taken up here, obviously, as I mentioned earlier. So you need to come off. Bear in mind, you're going to be over the ocean, and you're going to have to come off and basically lob yourself off here into the ocean and dive in the water. Very, very simple, because you're in a water system, which is brilliant. And then what you need to do is get yourself all the stuff that you need to collect that's left, and you should be able to collect all of it now, and shove yourself in a soul sand on that side, shove yourself in a magma block on that side. The upside is the soul sand, the downside is the magma block. Yeah, you could do free fall if you wanted to, but putting the water in is a lot more faffy, so I find this is a lot better. And then come up, use this as a water elevator. You travel proper quick. In fact, you go up faster than if you could fly up and come out on top of your platform. Now here you need to do a little bit of extra building. You need to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then build the platform 3 wide, and then get yourself some sand and tower up. And if you tower up, what you would find is you come up right next to your redstone end of one of your platforms, and that will enable you to get back on top of your build. There you go, just like that. You can see that's what we've done. And here you can shove yourself another block to get back on the wall. Very, very simple. Okay, so now we are back on top. We've got a full inventory again, and we're going to create some walls along the middle here. There, and we're going to do another one on top. Again here, and on top here, and on top. You kind of get the picture. So we're building channels that are too wide. You can see it's too wide and go all the way to the edge of these shelves. And you're going to do this in every spot between all of the dispensers on both sides. Then you're going to be up on this one high wall, and you're going to make it too high so it becomes in line with the rest of it. So once I've done that, I'll be back. So we've got our chambers, and you can see these chambers are 8 long, 2 wide, opposite each other. I've got a dispenser at the end times 2, and run all the way to the edge of here. Very, very simple. Then what we're going to do is we're going to come to one of the corners that have got the redstone wire running beyond it, shove a block in there, because we need to be able to step the redstone up. Leave this corner open and come up one more on either side like that. Then continue to run this all the way along to the end. Run it all the way along this bit. And I mean, we've already done it. Leave this corner open so as you've got a redstone step going in there, and then run along the other 2 sides and fill in. This is going to be the lid, the roof if you like, and you just need to make sure that you fill it in completely so you've got no holes whatsoever. Holes equals bad, because bad equals light, and light equals no mobs. Very, very simple. So make sure that you've got this completely filled in. Right, so you have got a lid. This is great. And you've got 2 sets of corners that you are going to be playing with. Now you can have them in opposite corners if you wanted to, or you could also, should you choose to, have them in separate corners. I've gone at opposite corners because I'm slightly mental, and it's going to be a darn sight easier if we do it in the same corner. So let's just change that up a little bit. I'm just going to grab my my block again, because it makes far more sense to have it in the same corner. My bad, I apologise. Let's shove that like that. That makes more sense. Let's pop that like that, that like that. That can come out, and that can come out. Okay, so now we've got the 2 corners are exactly the same, and just for the sake of argument and symmetry, we'll get rid of those. So they're the 2 corners. So we're going to run redstone from here. Now we know that this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I would then, just to make sure that we're not going to run out, I'd shove a repeater in there. And then similarly on this side, you've got, should be exactly the same, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, exactly the same, and then run a repeater into that to make sure the signal gets all the way there. Then come around about the middle of your place and get yourself a hopper and shove a hopper on there. Put a hopper into that first hopper, delete the first hopper, and put a hopper back into the second hopper. So you can see it is going backwards and forwards between each other on those hoppers. This is going to be a hopper clock, or what's also known as an etho clock, because etho actually thought up the idea. It's universally used across Minecraft now. The guy did very well out of it. There is a comparator, there is another comparator. That is going to run into a block like that. Okay, so next to that block we're going to have redstone dust there. We then get a sticky piston there, and a sticky piston there. We want a redstone block, and we shove a redstone block on either of these two holes next to the sticky pistons. Doesn't matter which one. Let's just say, for the sake of argument, we shove it in there. Then what we're going to do is we're going to start to build up the redstone circuit. So there are two components to this redstone circuit. The first component is what changes this redstone block into a redstone pulse, and the way we do that is actually quite simple. We're going to shove a comparator there which goes into a block, and then we've got redstone going into the comparator, we've got a repeater going in there, we've got redstone dust there and redstone dust there. That redstone dust goes like that. So if you can imagine, this redstone block gets shoved over, it lights up the whole thing just like that. So very, very simple. So we'll just shove that redstone block back there. Okay, so that will turn the constant redstone signal into a redstone pulse, and that's because the comparator compares the signal strength of that going into the back there to the signal strength of this going into the back there. The signal strength going into the side is greater, bigger, than the signal strength going into the back. It's gone 1, 2, whereas this one has only gone 1, because a repeater replenishes that redstone signal. Because this signal is stronger than that signal, it basically cuts the signal off, and as a result it goes on and then off again, which is brilliant. Then we're going to get a redstone repeater coming out of there, and redstone dust coming 2 directions out of that. Okay, because these 2 directions are going to basically run to these repeaters here. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to run the redstone wire to there like that, and then we're going to run the redstone wire to there like that, and we need to count just to make sure that we've got enough strength, because we probably haven't. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We do have enough strength, so that is great. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There we go. So that is perfectly strong enough to be able to run this system. But we need to do a second pulse, and this second pulse is going to come out of this as well. The reason we're doing a second pulse is quite simple. We don't want to have the water dispensed for a long period of time. We want the water dispensed, have enough time to wash the mobs out, and then turn off, and then have a much longer period of the water off. That is going to mean that we've got lots more time for the mobs to spawn, and that is going to make the system absolutely and significantly more effective. So we're going to come and get a signal splitter, which is just running 2 repeaters out of the same block that's got the same signal in, and we're going to go 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and that will give us a 2-second delay. So that will have the water will have 2 seconds of delay from when it goes out to when it comes back. So that will give theoretically plenty of time to wash the mobs out, but we are going to add a little bit more delay to it as well, so don't panic. We're then going to have that's coming there, we're going to get a block there, a block there, a block there, like that. That is going to go on top of that, that's going to go on top of that, that's going to go on top of that, and that's going to go there like that. We're going to shove another repeater there with 4 ticks, another repeater there with 4 ticks, and then run the redstone wire all the way along. So we just need to count this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it is enough. But if you feel a little bit nervous, don't worry. You can maybe put the repeater part of the way along, and that will make the signal plenty strong enough. So that is the entire kind of hopper clock system with a delay on it, and that's going to mean we've got nearly 2.5 seconds delay between this signal turning on the water to this signal turning off the water. So it should be plenty, really. If you want to add in more delay, you simply have to add in more repeaters. So if you wanted to do that, for example, we could take those 2 repeaters out, we could shove redstone dust in there, put a repeater there, shove redstone dust in there, put a repeater there, shove redstone dust in there, put a repeater there, and a repeater there, for example. Put them all on 4 ticks, and now you have an even greater lag. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and with this extra one, 9. So that is 3.5, or just over 3.5 seconds of delay that we've added into the system. And you can play with that as much as you want. If you want to reduce it, you can maybe put some of these onto 1 tick or 2 ticks. Just play with it and see what's working best for you. So you light up the whole top of this roof, and yeah, you can make it pretty and put an enclosure on it, but this is like 150 plus blocks in the air. Are you likely to see the top of this chamber? Probably not. So why mess around with it? Save yourself some time and just lob a load of torches down. That is the way forward. Before you turn it on, shove that repeater to 4 ticks. What will happen if you don't is that there won't be enough time between the signal going in here and the signal going in here and stopping it for this comparator to shove a signal through the block into these 2 repeaters. So whatever you do, make that 4 ticks, just 1, 2, 3, 4. There you go, just like that. And then get yourself into either one of these hoppers. I'm ironically going to use granite because, as people who might follow my channel will know, granite, or specifically polished granite, is something that I'm not mad keen on. Shove them all in. 16 is about right. You can play with the timers if you want, but 16 is quite good. That redstone block goes across, it shoves a pulse through, it shoves a delayed pulse through as well, and that turns the water off after the water has gone on, which gives us lots and lots of time for that water to flush the mobs out, and then have plenty of time for the mobs to respawn and get basically ready for the next flush. If you wanted to put more blocks in here, feel free. If you want to put 20, 25, 30, it's entirely up to you. I like it relatively short, because if you have it relatively short, that means that you've got mobs kind of constantly coming down. You're going to get hundreds of mobs in one go, but you get a few mobs constantly, and that's really what I'm after. And then remember which corner it was you put that sand, because it's around here somewhere. Where's the sand? There it is. And come down onto that sand and just lower yourself all the way back down. What you do want to do, that I really have not done, is you want to put a wooden trapdoor underneath that. That's going to mean that you're not going to get bashed by baby zombies that are going to be coming through that one high block. They can't now get at you, and if you want to close it up, you can just close it up just fine like that. Light up this platform as well, because again, mobs will spawn on this platform if you are not careful. So I just lobbed my torch away. What's going on with me? So get this platform all nicely lit up, and that will stop mobs from getting in your way when you are trying to basically bash them a lot, which is fairly reasonable, I thought. So now what you can do is, if you want the mobs to be for XP, you have this lever thrown and they will land on this platform, and because they've dropped a little way from up there, you should be able to one-hit them with a sword, or maybe even punch them a couple of times, and that'll work beautifully. If you're not going to be actively here doing bashing, if you want, all you can do, open it up, they'll fall down that hole. Careful you don't fall down the hole. They'll fall down that hole and they will fall all the way to the bottom and kill themselves on the floor. We're going to go back down to the floor and work out the collection system in just a minute. So down on your platform here, you know exactly where that hole is above your head because you lobbed 5 loads of sand down on it. So what I think you do is you come around this sand with your block. Doesn't matter what the block is, leave one end open, come along the other end and lob something down on there. Now this is the point at which you've got a choice. How many chests do you want to throw down? You can just throw down one single chest, one double chest, you could have a couple of double chests, or you could have 3 double chests if you want. It's entirely up to you, and the number of chests you have will depend on how you structure this. But I'm going to have 3 double chests here, and in the back of that chest at the bottom I'm going to shove a hopper. I'm going to shift click a hopper into the back of that and shift click a hopper into the back of that. I'm then going to lob a torch in there just to keep it nice and light. I'm going to get more hoppers and I'm going to put a row of 5 hoppers, so 1 more like that. So what's going to happen, the mobs will fall through that hole, they will land on this row of hoppers, and this row of hoppers will collect their goodies. Dead simple. So get your structural block that you're building your collection system out of and build it up to the level of the hoppers on both sides like that, and also on the end here. Then what I do recommend is on the end here, shove yourself a little step up, so should anything not go into the hopper, should it kind of rest on the side here or something like that, you can get up to it without any effort and it's dead easy. Collect, 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 and you've got all of your stuffs. Absolutely beautiful. And then around here, just light up your platform so there's plenty of light on it. You don't want any mobs surprising you when you come back down from your session up the top. That would be bad. And bear in mind that your platform isn't much bigger than this area. That is the ideal system. I've come into survival mode because I have got a whole load of mobs that have started to lob themselves at me across here. So I've got 0 experience, you can see. So I'm just going to have a bit of a crack to see whether or not we can't get some more experience off the back of these monsters. So we're just going to keep hitting them and keep hitting them and keep hitting them like this. They'll start to drop like dead monsters do. And look, you can see all their loot is just sitting there waiting for us to collect it. Now if we want, we can shove that loot down the hole like that and wait for the next tranche of bad guys to come along. They don't explode, these creepers, you can see, because they can't see you, so that is not a problem. We're already at 9 levels of experience. We've only been doing it for a couple of minutes, and then we're just going to keep hitting them. Most of these are going to be 1 hitters. Sometimes it'll be 2 or 3 hitters. Like that. So you can see it's dead simple to collect experience like that. But if you're not here, why don't you just open it up? You can have the mobs drop directly through the hole. You don't have to. You're not able to collect the experience from that, but they will collect your bits and pieces. So if this chunk is loaded, this farm will continue to churn on, and you'll collect all of the mob drops because it is a really, really long fall, and not even witches are going to survive that fall. You'll be able to collect all of the mob drops that you can possibly get from anything except for spiders, because what spiders don't do now is fall down this hole and start climbing back up and clogging up your system. Spiders are the bane of mob farms. Mob farms do not like spiders, so this one completely excludes them. So we are back down at the bottom, and what we've got is an assessment. Oh, stuff's still falling in our heads. What we've got is an assessment of about 15 or so. Blimey, that was a big old fall, wasn't it? 15 or so minutes of activity. And this is what we've achieved after 15 minutes. We've got 53 arrows, 46 gunpowder, 53 bone, a bow, 19 rotten flesh, redstone dust, glass bottle, 4 sticks, and a couple of bits of sugar, which shows that we did get some witches, which is great. Witches will not survive a fall like that. They do like to survive falls. They survive falls far more than others do, but they are going to die a lot when they're dropping 100 odd blocks, which is brilliant. So this is a pretty effective farm. Look, they're still coming. They're still falling on our heads. It's amazing. It keeps on going for ages. It's a very nice system. So there you have it, one pretty simple mob farm. Okay, there is a lot of blocks involved. There's a lot of climbing involved. There's pretty much a decent amount of block placement. But, you know, if you want a mob farm that's really going to work for you, then you need to place the odd few blocks. But I think it's worth the effort to do this. It's not taken that long for me to make it here. Probably just a couple of hours of your time will get you this mob farm. 3 hours max, definitely. Even if you're a slow builder, 3 hours max will get you this mob farm. Don't forget, if you end up running out of blocks, you can just lob yourself off into the ocean that's below you, grab the blocks that you need, and then go back up the water elevator that you've made really, really fast. If you have enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying it, and I will keep on making these farm tutorial videos. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit that subscribe button. It'd be great to see you in my sub club, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.